Hello, and welcome to Tea and Cornbread, a conversation with Sean and Tracy. I am Sean.
And I'm Tracy.
And we are talking to you all that are 50 and fabulous.
And don't forget handsome.
And we want you to know that we want to get some education happening, some empowerment.
We want to grow with you. We want to learn with you. We want to see what you're doing, 50 and over.
So like, share, comment, follow, subscribe,
grab your
tea. Hello. Hey, Tracy.
Hey, my sister.
I miss you.
I miss you too. My goodness.
Listen, this is Tea and Cornbread with Sean and Tracy. I've been MIA for a bit, but my co-host and our producer is holding it down.
We trying. We missing you though. We missing
Y'all
you.
holding it down. And then what is our topic today? And what did you do over the weekend?
Yes, today topic, we're going to talk a little bit of HIV and AIDS. We're going to just touch a little bit on that. Again, we just taking statistics as we did our research. We are not medical professionals. We have no higher education in this subject. That's what we're going to hit on a little bit today.
Right.
As far as this weekend, what did I do? Nothing. I always say that. And I keep telling myself, stop saying that, because you do
Stop
stuff.
saying that.
Yesterday, I did my normal. Everybody that knows me, and I say this all the time too, got up, went and worked out. And you know what? I just feel like I'm in a zone with my workout, and I do it all the time, but I'm just pushing it up a notch. For some reason, I feel like I'm going a little bit harder. It's just being more beneficial. I'm making it work. I felt so good when I left class, and I've been feeling like that like over the last 2 weeks. Sounds crazy. People don't understand it, but I know. And I could feel it in my body too. Again, it's not about the weight loss.
Right. It's about the mindset. Yes.
Yes.
So I'm glad you said that, because of what I got from Christmas from my co-host here, Disruptive Thinking by TD Jakes. On the front page, it says, now this piggybacks off of what you just said in the mindset, right? It says your new life is going to cost you your old one. It's going to cost you your comfort zone and your sense of direction. It's going to cost you relationships and friends. It's going to cost you being liked and understood. It doesn't matter. The people who are meant for you are going to meet you on the other side. You're going to build a new comfort zone around the things that actually move you forward. Instead of being liked, you're going to be loved. Instead of being understood, you're going to be seen. And all you're going to lose is what was built for a person you no longer are. And this was written by Brianna Weiss. And her book is called The Mountain is You, Transforming Self-Sabotage into Self-Mastery.
Oh my goodness, I love that. And what I love about that is it's about us. And along the way, and I think when I hear you're going to lose some people, it doesn't necessarily mean a negative. And that's I think that's what we are afraid of anyway. If I change this, if I stop doing this, if I say this, you're gonna lose people along the way. But what did he say? On the other side, those people are going to be waiting for you that matter, that mean you well, that mean you good. So again, that's a mindset that we have to embrace.
Exactly.
We have to embrace it. It's scary though when you think about it, because where I sit right now, I'm feeling like I'm good with my family, with my friends, with the people who love me, who mean me well. But as you go through your journey, you will lose friends. And as much as, I don't want to say friends, you lose people. What they say, people come in your life for a reason and a season.
Reasons and seasons. And sometimes sometimes their season is up. Yeah. And sometimes our season is up with that person or said group or whatever that is, and we have to embrace that. We have to embrace that. So thank you. I wanted to read that. Thank you for that. And what am I trying to say?
What did you do the weekend? That's what we got off subject too. Let's talk about what you did.
So yesterday, I'm in this group on Facebook called Healthy Praise Group. Let me make sure I'm saying it right. I forgot the name of the group. I'm sorry.
It's
because I know
okay. It's
somebody's
okay.
going to be listening in there. I forgot the Healthy Praise group. I think it's Healthy Praise. But anyway, they asked me to be a part of, they're doing a 10-day Daniel fast right now. But they're doing it with literature. So meaning they have these authors for every day for the 10 days, and they have different moderators. So they asked me to be one of the moderators. And I was one of the moderators for their Daniel fast last year too. And it was just amazing. So the author, her name is Fiona Huff Perlin, and she wrote a book called um, Power Power Pointers. I want to make sure I'm saying it right before I
Okay.
say, yeah, Powerhouse Pointers is called. Powerhouse Pointers, Motivational Messages for Personal and Professional Empowerment. Let me tell you, this conversation was amazing. Her book is about affirmations, talking to yourself and things like that. Like you said, when you are feeling good and doing things for yourself, how do you keep that going? That was the
Yes.
point of this, right? How do you
Yes.
keep that going? Like we read out of our devotional, we read affirmations, on a regular basis, that keeps us going, that keeps us positive, that keeps us, in that realm of loving ourselves, right?
Right.
And so that's what that conversation was about. And it was amazing. And also, about making sure you're getting closer to God. Getting closer to God makes a big difference. That's
Definitely.
what the Daniel fast is. This 10-day Daniel fast is, you are just drinking water from sun up to sundown. And when sundown happens is when you have your meal, and that meal should be a healthy meal of
What's a healthy meal?
fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, whole grains. Whole grains. Whole grains are like quinoa or millet and things like that, right?
Okay.
No breads, no sugars, no this, that, and other. And you're abstaining. What are you abstaining from? What are one of the things, you know what I mean? So that's what it
Mm-hmm.
was about. And so it was just an amazing conversation. I loved it, loved it, loved it. I'm gonna see about if she will come on our podcast, but we'll talk
Cool.
about that. We'll talk about that.
Cool.
Right. I'm sorry, but go ahead. Read out of
No, no.
what's
What?
called.
Stop apologizing. What are you apologizing for?
Just
Don't do
say
that.
Jesus is calling.
Jesus is calling. Today is already the 18th.
Isn't it crazy?
Wait, is today the 18th? Am I correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Today's
No,
the
it
18th.
is the 18th. Yeah.
It's the 18th. Okay. It says, I am with you. These four words are like a safety net, protecting you from falling into despair. Because you are human, you will always have ups and downs in your life experiences. But the promise of my presence limits how far down you can go. Sometimes you may feel as if you are in a free fall when people or things you have counted on let you down. Yet, as soon as you remember that I am with you, your perspective changes radically. Instead of instead of bemoaning your
Spell it.
circumstances, BEMOANING, bemoaning,
Okay, go ahead.
bemoan. Ooh, see, don't try to keep saying
You
it because
said
I'm
it.
going
You're
to mess
saying
it
it
up.
right.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
your circumstances, you can look to me for help. You recall that not only am I with you, I am holding you by your right hand. I guide you with my counsel, and afterward, I will take you into glory. This is exactly the perspective you need, the reassurance of my presence, and the glorious hope of heaven. Awesome. Awesome.
It's always in alignment,
Always. And it's
right?
never planned, it just
It's
happens.
never planned, never planned. We just let it
It's not.
flow.
We do.
We just let
Because
it
look,
flow.
we have lots of books and different things we read, and this is what's at hand. I'm home. When we're in the studio, we bring stuff and we
Yeah,
just figure it out when we
yeah,
get there. But this is what was
yeah.
at hand. So
Mhm.
I mean the message is clear. We just have to stay on our path at the end of the day and also
Absolutely.
focus on him. When we think we need to go
Absolutely.
left, go back to the right because he's standing there and he's
Hmm.
waiting.
And he's
So
waiting. Yes.
yes, yes,
So,
yes, yes.
our topic today is because February is Black History Month. It's also
Mm-hmm.
Heart Health Month. So you guys
Yep.
already touched on those two things. And it's also HIV and AIDS Month.
Yes,
Am I
yes.
correct?
You
All
are
right.
absolutely correct. Go ahead. So we wanted
Go
to
ahead.
touch on that. What I'm doing is
Yep.
pulling up my other computer because even with Black History Month, I wanted to just have another page up to talk to something else. But I apologize. Go ahead, babe. Finish saying what you were saying.
Yep. No. And so we just want to touch on just a little bit about it and fun fact. I don't know if this is a fun fact or not, but my senior year, I graduated in 1986, right? And we had to do a thesis. We had to do, a term paper, whatever you want to call it, right? And I did mine on HIV.
Awesome.
Do you believe that?
Awesome.
So
I
it has
don't.
come
I
a
do believe it. I
long
mean, I
way.
do. That's awesome.
Yeah, because I had an uncle that was suffering from it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want to learn more about it. And
Right.
man, I just remember so much from then, right? And
Yeah.
even when I think about the way I think about things,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to health and wellness, I wasn't scared of it. I was not, you know what I mean? I just want to learn more about it because there was so many different things out there that was one of those, that was the pandemic at that time, right?
Right.
Where
Right.
they made people scared of people. I mean, I know there were people that were like wouldn't be in the same room with somebody that knew that you know what I mean? So
Right.
I'm so glad we've come a long way where okay, I gotta be careful. Where we've come a long way from um
The
ostracizing
stereotypes,
people.
the
Yes, this
negativity,
yeah, and
like you said,
ostracizing people that,
people.
nobody. And
Mostly
so
people of color, let's be honest, mostly of people
absolutely.
when it first,
Absolutely.
came about.
Absolutely.
It was about us at the end of the day, black and brown people, not to
Absolutely.
eliminate anybody else. And again, don't quote me. I think a part of it too, it had more of a homosexual
Connotation.
undertone to it too.
Yeah.
When as we
Yeah.
were growing up and being, I want to say, uneducated
Right.
about it, and again being afraid of it.
Right.
Um, for me, this kind of touches home a little bit, and I didn't know if I was gonna go here, and I'm getting
Okay.
emotional. So
It's all
it
right.
it really does. And I talked to my brother about this before, and it's been weighing on my head because I said, "Oh my God, me and Sean are going to talk about HIV and AIDS." And to be a true person and be honest and sit in my truth, I have to say it hit home. And when I say it hit home, it hit home. And I don't know, everybody that knows me doesn't know this,
Mhm.
that it hit home. And when I say home, it hit with my parents.
Mm.
Now that opens up, like you said, that door was scary. It was very scary because it was the unknown. And we had family members, and we're sitting in our truth right now. And this is where I'm sitting.
Right.
It is
Yeah,
what
yeah,
it is.
yeah. Yeah.
We had family members that, like you said, were afraid. They
Mm-hmm.
were afraid, and they were afraid of the unknown. I remember when, I was told to say it was something else because
Okay.
people were
Because
embarrassed, they were
yeah.
ashamed. We didn't know.
Yeah.
We didn't
We
know.
didn't
Um,
know.
and we are afraid of the unknown. And I, we don't know. And then when it hits home, your whole perspective of things changes.
Yep.
Um, I remember being grown, being in the workforce where I'm at, and it came up, and somebody had said, "Well, how did you lose your parents?" And one of my family members says that they find that to be such a nosy question when people say, "How did you lose somebody?" And sometimes I really think people are concerned, but other times people are being nosy. And when she said it, I told her how I lost, how my parents had passed away. And
Mm-hmm.
she looked at me and said, and I'm saying this to say how ignorant people are to what's going on, and I'll say uneducated because I could say that I could sit in that because I didn't know. You don't know until it hits
You
you.
didn't.
You
I
know what I'm
mean,
saying?
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
She looks at me and she says, "How are you?" Mind you, we're grown, and I had kids. I said, "Excuse me?" She said, "Well, you just said your parents passed away from AIDS, HIV. How are you?" And I looked at her as calm as I could be and said, "What does that have to do with me?" But her being uneducated and not understanding it automatically assumed, "Oh, your parents got it, you got
Yeah.
it." You
Yeah.
understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I
Right.
just said that to say we have come a very long way, and I say
Yeah.
myself included. Even the statistics show,
Mm-hmm.
I think by the end of year 2023, how the numbers have slowed down. We've lost millions of
Mm-hmm.
people. and millions
Mm-hmm.
of people still have it, but they're thriving with it. I think it's like 3.9 living with HIV by the end of
Mm-hmm.
2022. I don't think the stats are in for 2023. And then 1.5 million children under the age of 14 are living with it too.
Mm-hmm.
So there
So
we have come so far. Go ahead.
right. And so the other thing too that the misconception is people die from the complications of.
Thank you. Not
That's
yes,
just like with
yes,
cancer. You don't die
yes.
from cancer. You die from the
You don't right,
complications of. And that
right,
is, I mean, because the information that I pulled up was on the Health uh World Health. Let me see. And when it talks about deaths, it says the complications of.
right, right.
You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
so, like you said, people are living longer. And that's the aspect that I wanted to really talk about is yes, people are living longer. And then going back to when you were saying that there was the stigma of
Mm-hmm.
gay men, right?
Right, right.
Are automatically have it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't the case. And even with my uncle, he was a heroin addict,
Mm-hmm.
so sharing needles and things like that because it's
Right,
transmitted through blood, right?
right, right.
So and then when you think about it, I just remember people just like okay, gotta be careful. I just remember the same way that we went through 2020 and 2021,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you got the mask
Yep.
and anybody sneezing and coughing. I don't know about right now, but anybody sneezing and coughing, now you're
Everybody was
scared,
running from
you're
them. Right,
petrified,
right,
and all of this, right? So I
right.
remember that
People
back
still do it.
then.
People still do it. It's
Right.
2024 and we're still doing that. Yeah,
Exactly. I remember that back then
yeah,
where, if somebody even looked like they were gay, they were being beat up
yeah,
on, they were being
yeah.
discriminated against. It was just crazy. I just remember this when I was 18 years old, 17 and 18 years old. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
so I just wanted us, when you said you want to have this conversation, I was like, cool, because it's about really, you're going to love people, right? The only way to heal this world is love. I
Mm-hmm.
heard that, who was it that was saying, if you could heal the world, how would you heal it? And they said love. I was just watching something recently. I forgot what the woman's name was. But anyway, you cannot transmit HIV or AIDS by touching somebody.
I was going to say that by
You
touching
just
somebody.
can't. You
Right.
can't by being in the room talking to them.
Yeah.
You can't if they sneeze.
Mm-hmm.
It's
If you use the
crazy.
same utensils as them, like it's
Right.
gotten deep to where people have been so ignorant to how you can transmit or how you can get it to the ostracized family and friends.
Right.
Um, I'm hoping we've came way, past that point now. And we've
Right.
learned, like you said, to love each other more and to educate ourselves. I think that's the biggest thing. We have to educate and stop assuming the
Right.
first fact that you hear or the first way that you hear something can happen. Just look into it a little bit more. But who are
Right.
we at the end of the day? Who are we?
Yeah.
What makes
Yeah.
me better than you? Because I don't care what. I'm no better than you, and you're no better than I am. And I think people have to stop looking at people like that. Like you said, even with people being gay, people being black, that was a very, very bad time. And it was a
Yeah.
very scary time, you
So
know.
do you want to talk about that?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
let's
We
talk
can, because
about,
I really
I
didn't
mean,
know if I
because
would. But then
yeah.
I said, I'm not being true to myself. How do you bring a subject
Right.
that hits home so hard, and you
Mm-hmm.
bypass how it hit you, how it affected
Right.
you?
So
So,
so let's talk more about that not instead of, I shouldn't say that. Let's talk more about that because it is personal, right?
right.
It's personal because I was with you. I was there. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
right, right.
And
You
we
grew
were
up with our
kids.
with our family.
Right.
You're right. And I said that to say you went through this with us. And when I say
Mm-hmm.
us, I say my brother and my sister, and
Mm-hmm.
not eliminating anybody else outside of that realm, but at the same time, like I said, even when I talked about it with my brother, because I don't want to step on people's toes, and if I'm ready to
Right.
talk about something and they're not ready
But
to
this is
receive
this
it,
is your experience though. You know
this
what
is
I'm
my
saying?
experience.
And
Exactly.
we're only coming from your experience. We're not coming
Right,
from what anybody else thought or how they were and this, that, and the other.
right.
You know, I know this is kind of like going off the
No,
beaten
go,
path a little
go,
bit,
go.
but
Yeah,
I
go.
do want to know, like, you know, how did you or yeah, how did you feel going through it? Like you said, it was rough and it was scary and things like that. What was that for you? Because you're the oldest child,
Right.
right? You're the oldest child. How old were you when they passed?
I was in my late, well, when my father died first, I was in my 20s. I was in
Okay.
my 20s.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm trying to think exactly. I don't know the exact number, but when my mom died, I was in my late 20s. So, and
Okay.
I think there was, and again, don't quote me on these dates, 5 years, 6 years
In
between
between. Okay.
in between their passing.
Hmm.
I think when it first happened, again, I didn't know what to think. And
Hmm.
and again, family didn't know what to think. And I think the older generation, you know, what goes on in your house stays in your house, and
Hmm.
you're being told, say this, if they're questioned about it, and
Hmm.
we did as we were told. But that never sat with me, and
Right.
I never lied about it. And if somebody asked me about it, I never, until recent years, many years later, I never said what they passed from. When people would
Hmm.
say, what happened, or how'd you lose your parents,
Hmm.
my silly answer was, they were just sick. And
And that's
nobody
not a
ever knocked on
silly
the
answer.
door.
That's
Yeah,
not a
nobody.
silly answer. That is the
Yeah,
truth. You
it
know what
is.
I'm
But I
saying?
wasn't
It's the
ready to.
truth.
And yeah, but I was still
Mhm.
sitting in that. The people are going to judge me, and maybe because of
Okay.
what the young lady had said to me previously, I didn't want
Hmm.
people to look at me differently. But I don't know if I've ever said this on camera, but I know I've said this between me and you. I go back to where my father said, don't be embarrassed in how I lived my life, because I
Mm.
lived my life the way I wanted to. Don't ever let anybody shame you for how I lived my life, because I did what I wanted to do. And that stuck with me. And I remember where we were. I was walking with my oldest, Terrence, me and him, down Oak Street, because his mom lived on Oak Street, and we were just walking past. He just wanted to go back in the old neighborhood, and he had came to visit one time. They had moved away, and he had came back. And I never forget that. And that sticks with me. So it just makes me a better person, because I think
Right.
we always take on that. And I walked with that for so many years, because I felt like that. I felt like I'm not responsible for it,
Empowered.
but
Exactly.
they're my
So,
parents, and you're gonna hurt, and you don't want people treating them wrong. So
right.
when he
Right.
said that,
But
how powerful is that?
I was just about to say that is powerful, especially for
Yeah,
anybody that's listening, that's
yeah.
dealing with something that they may, I want to say a secret, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's what comes down to, right? Kind of, sort of. If you're living with a secret, or feel embarrassed, or you were never embarrassed because, like you said, you never felt like that, right?
Right,
So this is awesome that your father said that to you. You know what I'm saying? To reassure you,
right.
that you are not the same as that. You know what I mean? Your life is not
A
predicated on
replica of how
what,
they
right,
lived their
of
life.
how they lived, right,
Yeah,
exactly. But regardless, they were still your parents. Regardless,
they
they
were
still
still
loved you.
exactly.
Regardless, you still love them.
Yes, yes.
So this is great for someone out there that either's been through it or going through it, right?
Going through it.
Because,
Right.
yeah, because you have to be, hopefully that their parents or whoever's affected
Yeah.
by it, in their family, that they um understand that it's not them, and you still
And
have to
don't be
love them
ashamed. Don't be ashamed
unconditionally, right? Don't be
unconditionally. And
ashamed.
we cannot forget that. And I think as adults, we forget that. We think we are responsible for, because they are part of us. We are
Right,
responsible for ourselves only.
right,
Ourselves
exactly.
only.
So, and it comes back to just like, we all have someone in our, I shouldn't say all, you and I, put it that way, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You and I, like, even in my own family, dealing with people that are drug addicts, You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like our family members that
Right.
are drug addicts doesn't stop
Hmm.
us from loving them.
Not at all.
You know,
Not
it
at
doesn't
all.
stop us from loving them. And so that's what it really is all about. And
Yes.
this is what we want to kind of make sure that we're always portraying on this channel is
Hmm.
love, you know,
Hmm.
and
Being honest, sitting in
being
our truth.
honest, right,
Yes.
right,
Yes.
empowering and all of that, you know.
Hmm.
It's crazy. And yeah, we got to be careful who we're talking about, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or because
Right.
I didn't ask permission, so I'm not gonna say any names or whatever. But at the same time, though, from our own experience, it's like,
Hmm.
listen, you still have to love. It just keeps
Hmm.
coming down to that.
It does. And then you know what, we have to keep teaching our children that too.
Yes.
As adults, I'm still my parents' daughter. Like you said,
Right.
I'm still their daughter regardless. And you have to figure, my parents have been gone now 30 something years. And
Mm,
for him to have said that, how powerful, how meaningful that was. That those little sentences that he said and how they have transmitted or stayed with me all this time. And I always have to go back to that. I just have to go
mm.
back to that in life, you know. And again, like you said, we're talking about our personal situations. We're not talking about anybody else's outside of that realm. Um, and I hope this doesn't offend or people think I'm being disrespectful because I'm putting it out there. But I think we need to, if we don't have these open dialogue, these conversations, these things get lost. And our
Yeah.
generation after us doesn't know
Yeah.
what happened. Our history
Right.
is lost. Just like we don't want to lose our history on anything
They
else.
want to
You
erase
have
it
to,
as it is.
exactly. So,
They want to
at the
erase
end of
it
the
as it
day,
is. Tell the
right. And
truth.
tell the truth. And I'll tell you another thing. As I was talking, not just to my brother about it, because I just felt like I said, he's my brother. It's going to affect him, yay or nay. And if he would have said, well, I don't want it out there, I wouldn't have discussed it. I would have, but then again, maybe I would have. But even when I talked about it with my nieces to say, hey, because I was hanging out with them last night, and I was like, oh, I got to get my research done. I had started my research, and one of them said to me, if not both of them, are you going to talk about it? I said, talk about what? And she said, your parents. And I thought to myself, I am. Because if they felt okay, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's not a secret, but I also want them to know, research, educate, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stay on top of that. And that's what we
Yeah.
have to do. That's what
And
we have to
and the
do.
great thing the great thing about that too is that you have such a bond with your nieces and nephews, right? And
Yeah.
for them to feel comfortable enough to say,
Yeah.
or
Are
to
you
ask
going to
you
talk
that
about it?
question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Because
said, I don't
that is
know. Yeah. But I honestly said, I don't know. And I said it to my
okay.
brother. I said, because it's coming up, I may, and it depends on where the conversation takes us. So honestly,
Mm-hmm.
when I started this conversation, I didn't know where it was going to take me. We did our
Mm-hmm.
research. We talked about it the other day. We're going to do our research. We're going to get our stats, our statistics, and that's what we were going to talk about. I didn't know it was going to, and I'm okay with
Yeah.
it. Even though I got a
Yeah.
little
I mean,
emotional, I'm okay
right.
with it.
Listen, we gotta get emotional. And
Yeah.
going back to what your father said to you, to me, it sounds like it was like he just released you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Right.
released you. And Brian to me sounds like he has your father's spirit. You know
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Yeah.
Brian, yeah.
He talked from what you just said and how your father said it to you. I can hear Brian saying something like that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And
Yeah.
so it's amazing how we are as adults from our childhood. And when people are going through, listen, these little stink bugs, because the window we're near some woods, it's on the doggone ceiling.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm laughing at you,
I'm
but
sorry.
girl, oh my goodness.
What it's
Oh.
called, but it's not a regular fly.
Well, keep an eye on it so don't get in your hair.
No, I got it. I'm gonna get it in a second. But anyway,
Oh my goodness.
but going back to, you know what? This is why it's real, right? This is why it's like uncut,
Yes, yes,
uncut.
yes.
Um,
This is
but
not rehearsed, people.
right is not rehearsed. But the great thing about you being able to share your story is also amazing because the people that are going to listen to this that may be going through the same thing or may have been through it, whatever, might come out and say, you know what, you're right. It's not, it wasn't my life that they lived. You know what I'm saying? It was
Right.
their life. It was their
Right.
choice on how they lived it.
How they
And
did. Yeah.
right. And it's not about answering questions. It's about just love. I just keep
That's
saying
it.
that, right?
You have
That's
to.
just love,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It's that's what it's about.
It
That's what
is.
it's about.
It is. We have to remember that at the end of the day, because, like you said, unconditionally, my
Mm-hmm.
parents loved us unconditionally, and regardless of what they may have gone through in the life that they lived, the bottom line is this: they lived the life that they wanted to. You
Right,
know, they
right. That
lived
is
the
the
life
bottom
that they
line.
wanted to. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
we have to remember as people. You know, like you said, we all have situations in our lives, no matter what it is. We don't know what the next person's going through. You and I know a lot about each other and what our lives and what we're going through on a personal level. But don't be ashamed. Don't be
Right,
embarrassed.
right,
Don't let somebody else take you, you know, to a place where you're being depressed, to a place where you're not feeling comfortable just living. We just have to live and we have to communicate at the end of the day. So this is a hot topic. It's a topic that we've come a long way with though. And we're in a
yeah,
better place than we were 30
absolutely.
something years ago when it first started. And that's another reason why we wanted to bring the awareness. You know what I'm saying? Like keep
Mm-hmm.
your eyes open, be aware of what you're doing. Um, make it a safe place, you know, whether
Right,
it be, you know, like you said, IV use, sexual, things, whatever, you know, bring you into that realm. Just take care of
right.
yourself.
Just
That's
take,
it. Just
I
take
was
care of
just about
yourself.
to say, yes, and that was one of the aspects I want to touch upon too, is it's an immune deficiency, right?
Right.
And so taking care of yourself by taking care, like boosted, keeping your immune system boosted, stay
Mm-hmm.
away from toxins, detox your life on a regular basis. So from, the chemicals you put on your skin to eating junk. We just
Mm-hmm.
constantly eating junk, right? Sugar, smoking, all of those things can contribute to um your immune system being weakened, right?
Yep.
And so,
Compromising it. Yeah.
yeah, compromising your immune system. So it's just a matter of, people are living longer because I guess this is just, I mean, because, looking at the statistics and things like that, they are living longer because they're taking care of themselves. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Right.
so in the end, with us, um, it's about taking care of yourself first, like
Mm-hmm.
like our tagline. What's the tagline? If you don't take care of your body, where you gonna live?
Where you gonna live?
Where are you gonna live,
Where
right?
you
If you
gonna
don't take
live?
care of your body, where are you going to live? So I
Exactly.
appreciate your openness. I
Thank you, my
appreciate
sister.
your courage to talk about this topic from a personal perspective. I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't just assume that you would, right? And
Right.
so, but this topic is important, it's
Very.
important.
Very.
Um, and like I said, I just remember during high school where it was like, it was just ridiculous. So I'm so
Mm-hmm.
glad that we've come a long way. I'm so glad that we're
Definitely.
adults. I'm
Me
so
too.
glad
Me
that we
too.
can talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
and let's just love people.
Yes. Stay open minded. No judgment.
Yes. No
No
judgment
judgment.
about anything and anybody. No judgment
Exactly.
whatsoever.
Exactly.
Wow. Wow.
And listen,
Thank you.
and a cough is just a cough. We stop swinching and jerking. A cough is a cough. I mean, cover your mouth, but a cough is a cough.
Right. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. It's just
It's
crazy.
human nature, but we just have to make ourselves aware. We have to do better because sometimes what we don't do and we need to do, put yourself in that person's shoes. You know, do
Right.
you
How
want
about
people
that?
flinching and jumping when you sneezing and coughing, which is a natural thing to do?
Right.
Um, treat people how you want to be treated at the end of the day.
Boom.
I love you, my friend. I love you, my sister. I do. I do. I do. I just love you. I think we
I
needed this.
love you more. Yes.
We needed this. Like you said, we didn't know where it would go, but you know, I was just nervous because I didn't know.
It's all
We
right
just let
though.
it flow. We let it flow. It
Absolutely. You
flowed
let
and
it
it worked.
flow.
So
Absolutely. Because it's like,
yes.
listen, we are
Hmm.
human. We are
We are.
human on
We are.
this earth, right?
Hmm.
And and while we're human on this earth, we got to live the best way possible.
Yes.
What God intended for us to live.
Hmm.
Okay. And if we're
That's
getting
it.
closer, yeah, and getting closer to
That's it.
him is,
Hmm.
him, her, whoever, because
Yes.
everybody's
There you
idea
go. There
of,
you go.
but for
Exactly.
me, it's a father. It's our father. That's for me,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's our father. And getting closer to him and understanding that, he covers us no matter what. And as long as
Hmm.
we're, living the best way we can and listening to our inner self and being
Yeah.
true with ourselves, there's
Hmm.
some things that I'm still not free with, right? I live in my
Hmm.
truth, but at the same time, I don't broadcast it, right?
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
wait, you don't have to though. At
encourage
the end of the day,
no,
no,
no, no,
you don't
no,
have
right.
to.
But no. I'm just saying that because, like you said, you weren't sure if you were going to say something today. And
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you because you had the courage to,
Yeah. Thank
because
you.
you had the
Thank
courage
you.
to,
I just hope what you said earlier, my words, our conversation, if anybody is sitting where I sit and feeling like ashamed and embarrassed or don't know how to function, I hope this conversation give them a different perspective to
Right,
kind of be open. Have that conversation with said person if you need to have that conversation, and don't shun away from people because they're different.
right.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's it. That's it. All right. Thank
Thank
you, my
you.
sister.
Yes, and guess what? I can't wait
And
for you to come home so we can get back in
I
the
know,
studio.
I
I
know.
love
But
this, but
wait,
I want to see you.
yes, you will. You will. I'm coming home soon. We got 2 weeks. I think I'll be home in 2 weeks. Um, yeah, 2 weeks.
Yep.
What's the question? No, not the. Oh, hey, wait. We're gonna be going live. We're gonna be going live.
Yes, we're gonna go live. Well, we haven't
Yes,
picked a date yet, but we will go live.
soon on
Yeah.
Instagram. So I want
Yes.
you guys to follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook at Tea and Cornbread, and
Subscribe to our
subscribe. We are
subscribe. It costs
at
nothing to subscribe.
80 something subscribers. We want to try to hit
Yes.
100. So let's hit 100, y'all. Share this,
Subscribe.
share, like, subscribe, comment. And if you are one that are dealing with certain situations, or you would like for us to talk about certain
Exactly.
topics,
Let
or
us
bring
know.
people on, let us know. We got some
Hmm.
awesome people lined up coming,
Yep.
going forward. We got some awesome people lined up from all different types of walks and all
Yes.
different types of professions. And they're going to share their expertise, and I am super excited. We are super excited about this.
Yes.
So
Yes.
all right, my sister. Yes, so y'all look
All
out for
right.
us. Y'all stay tuned on our channels so that you can catch us live, because
Yes.
we got some things we want to talk about. We have some things that we want
Yeah.
to just like share. We want some interaction with you guys.
Right. That's the most important thing. But we thank you all for listening. We
Yes, we thank you.
appreciate you. We see you looking.
Absolutely.
We see you
We
looking. So
do,
thank you
right?
for that.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
see you. We see you. All right. So thank you, and have a great,
Have
wonderful,
a great
blessed,
day.
amazing day.
Yes.